Hello, I'm Loïc Lossel. I work in Orange. I will try to be shortest than Christian. So I will talk about Boosted. It's a framework based on Bootstrap. We created it for web, accessible solution, and responsive design. I will talk more about that. First of all, we are a team in Orange who work for websites, for customer and also for employees. We try to convince project manager that accessibility is good and it's not an option. For that, we support projects for web and mobile, and we used MDAN, which is an open source solution for mobile demonstration. We also published some guidelines for accessibility, specific for Orange, based also on Access Web solution, which is a good reference. And we need to provide a framework ready to use. At the beginning, we tried to just give some components one by one to project when they need, but it's difficult to integrate in many solutions, and they need to apply the brand to those components, so they don't really feel why they need to take this one. And a good point today is how to automated test for project, because we can provide accessible solution, but they can degrade the quality of the components. So it's important to test along the project the quality of accessibility. And we also work for innovation like Orange Comfort Plus and Sarah. Comfort Plus is a solution to add to browser like Firefox, Chrome, and Internet Explorer a toolbar with to increase the size of the text, to change the color contrast, and also some option for dyslexia. Change the font family to open dyslexic. Also increase the space between the words, the sentences, and also some motor help. And Sarah is totally out of Orange. It's an application for the cruise, because we've got a colleague which is blind, and he enjoys to make boats. So we need an application who said each time where is the buoy. Sorry for the French. And so we developed this solution. And also partnership with other company, many in France, and now with OSAI, with other company in the world. So that's the goal for Boosted. So what's Boosted? It's for the bigger part, it's Bootstrap. Why Bootstrap? Because since the last year, the end of 2014, many of Orange projects, like Christian said, we are going to mobile, need to update their website and be more mobile friendly. And to be clear, mobile first. So Bootstrap, we study around the market which was the better framework to do that, and with also the constraint to be accessible. So Bootstrap was in version 3 at the end of 2014, and it's open source with a really big community. I don't know if you ever try, but really a big community around Bootstrap. And with a quite good accessibility level at the beginning, with version 3. And today with version 4, it's really incredible. And the major point of Bootstrap for projects which discover the front-end framework, because Bootstrap, it's only CSS, JavaScript, and HTML. Many guys in Orange work on Java and other languages, and they don't mind about user interface. Doesn't ask me why, I don't know. But in Bootstrap, there is an extensive documentation which explains how to use each component and what was the key points of each component. And many times you will have a warning for takes care, for accessibility reason, you need to use like that. If you use in this context, put this information. So it's really interesting. But for Orange, like you know, our brand is not blue, so we've got a problem with the color. And we also have some specific components, and we're not like Bootstrap, which provide buttons for every website. We have a brand guidelines, brand governance, who said the button need to be 20 pixel spacing and everything. So we make an effort, and we adapt the Orange brand to Bootstrap. That's the beginning. And after we put the custom components for Orange, like MegaMenu and complex interface components, which came from projects inside call us and said, oh, my designer said me I need to make this calendar like that and this interface component. So we work with them to improve the accessibility of those complex components. We also increase the accessibility level on Bootstrap 3, and so we also push back our suggestion to the community, and we apply to maintain the documentation of native Bootstrap for our new components to provide a real big documentation to the developers. And also we put it open source because Orange is a really big company, and it's really difficult to discuss between all parts in Orange, like Romania, Spain, and each country, and everybody. So it's strange, but when you come with an internal Orange solution, everybody looks at you and said, it's Orange? No, thank you. We'll take this one in that coin. So we said, okay, we have taken the best from Bootstrap, and we need now to give it to other people, Orange and also outside Orange. And we found a big interest in that open source because at the beginning we share our accessibility position and our accessibility solution in Orange and outside. We are a little team to maintain the core that we call the core. It's the native components for Orange and Bootstrap, and we keep the sync with Bootstrap. Each time Bootstrap pull out a new release, we try to pull out one in 1 or 2 days. We create the new version because we know developer want the last version. Even if project manager said no, we start on the 3.11, stay on 3.11, but 3.11 was 2 years ago. Yes, but it works. So we try to keep sync. It's really important. So projects take it because it's up to date, it's Orange branded, and it's accessible. And many times they said, oh, this component is not in Bootstrap. What can I do? Sometimes they said, you can develop it. Whoa, stop. We are not here to develop your interface, but you can help you to study the interface, eventually detect as soon as possible if there is accessible key points which need to be worked with our team and study more specifically. So they said, okay, we work with them, we are quite reactive. And after that, for some other specific components which are not really complex in terms of accessibility or other points, they are the task force. We are 2 people to maintain the core code. And in front of us, we've got projects with 20 or 30 or sometimes 50 developers. So they are the task force. So we explain to them that, okay, you've got some specific need, but sometimes this need can be reused by other projects. And before Boosted, a project said, okay, I've got my solution in my corner. I've got my MegaMenu. So you can find one MegaMenu for Orange France, one other in other part of Orange France, one other in Spain, and etc. Today, they come back with their solution and said, okay, we've developed it. Can you take it and include it in Boosted? said, ah, yes, okay, it's a good solution. So they can create a pull request. That's really good. And when they submit a contribution, the good point is that we can take a look on the code, eventually repair the accessibility problem or errors, and then put it back to the core. So it's really a virtuous cycle, which is benefic for the company, for the project, and for the developer. Today, developers are invested in the tools they use each day. So the results, in fact, after one year and a half, accessibility level of project inside the group increased. When they use Boosted, it's really magic. Seriously, for my colleagues and others, we see the project arrived and said, okay, you need to check our accessibility level. And when we check, it's quite good. Sometimes they make a complex component into the interface, which is quite buggy or not accessible, but the other points are really, really, really good. Our efforts spent on too complex interface, and developers are really empowered into the Boosted. And strangely, Boosted today became a central tool for discussion, not only for developer, it's normal, but also designer and the brand. So it's quite strange. Designer and brand call us each week and said, oh, okay, you make the navigation like that, yeah, you're sure for the space, yeah, okay, we can discuss. And at the beginning, brand said, okay, this is for website. But after discussion with developer and designer, we contact the brand and said, okay, you think for the web, but you think for the web, for computer. Now for mobile. Ah, mobile, I don't know. So we can propose solution and said, okay, for mobile, this is a good solution, you can study that, this is accessible. No, don't do that, it's not accessible. So it's really a magic tool. And now, for the future and where we are investing in open source. We think it's the future for accessibility, in fact. We are not there to launch a product for our customer. We are not there to make money with this product. We really want to help user, internal user, and customer. So for that, we've got our tool, and then for mobile accessibility, iOS and Android. We've published guidelines for web and mobile best practice internal Orange, because read the WCAG, it's quite a long trip. Boosted for developer, they can take it and use it, and Bootstrap can be integrated with quite all the market. Orange Comfort Plus for the end user. When the website is quite accessible, the end user, if he needs more accessibility, he can use this solution. And for the next step today, we need to provide more tools to keep empower the developer, and we need to provide automatic tests. Because even if they use Boosted today, they can break some accessibility points. So today, the good point is that they take Boosted, they copy and paste the code, which is accessible, so it's quite good. Sometimes they break it. So that's all. Thanks. Yeah. So we have just 2 minutes.